The forgotten asylum. The wind howled through the barren trees, cutting through the mountain like a forgotten scream. In the distance, the towering silhouette of the old asylum loomed against the night sky. Its cracked windows and rusting gates a testament to years of neglect. The crumbling stone walls, draped in vines, seemed to breathe as if the building itself was alive. A group of urban explorers stood at the base of the asylum's eerie hill, hearts pounding with both excitement and dread. The leader of the group, a brash and fearless thrill-seeker named Lucas, grinned wide as he filmed the scene, capturing every moment for his online followers. "All right, everyone, this is it, the forgotten asylum. The place where darkness lives. The place where legends are born," Lucas said, his voice crackling with excitement. "Tonight we'll make history. Get ready to witness something none of you will ever forget." His group, Mia, David, Claire, and Ethan, exchanged uneasy glances. Each of them had their own reason for agreeing to this madness. Mia wanted to prove to her friends that she wasn't afraid of anything. David, the tech geek, hoped to catch something supernatural on his equipment. Claire, the skeptic, was just here for the thrill of the challenge. And Ethan, well, Ethan had his own deep fascination with the past, something he was hoping the asylum would reveal. They made their way up the path, stepping over broken glass and rusted metal pipes. The entrance, once grand, now stood as a decaying arch, sagging and full of mystery. As the group stepped into the darkened halls, the temperature dropped dramatically. They all immediately felt an icy chill. The place had a strange odor. It was the smell of mildew mixed with old, damp wood. The sound of their footsteps echoed unnervingly in the vast, hollow spaces, the walls covered in peeling paint and faint, cryptic symbols. "Welcome to the forgotten world," Lucas murmured, his voice both mocking and serious as he scanned the room for his next shot. But something was off. The air felt charged, almost alive with a strange energy that made their skin crawl. Mia felt the hairs on the back of her neck rise as an eerie chill swept through the hallway, but she pushed it aside as just the wind. They continued deeper into the asylum. The sounds of their laughter became quieter as the oppressive silence weighed heavier on them. In one of the rooms, they found old patient records scattered on the floor, pages yellowed with age. One of the records had a chilling note scrawled in red ink. "Don't let them in." "Okay, that's unsettling," Claire remarked, her eyes scanning the note. "What does that even mean?" Lucas shrugged, brushing it off. "Old crazy people, right? Let's keep moving." They ventured through the crumbling wards, snapping pictures and videos. But the deeper they went, the more unsettling the atmosphere became. Each room seemed to be colder than the last, and faint whispers could be heard from the walls, as though the asylum itself was trying to speak to them. David, who was focused on his equipment, suddenly froze. "I just picked up something on the camera, a shadow moving across the hallway." "What are you talking about?" Ethan asked, peering over David's shoulder. David rewound the footage, and sure enough, there was a fleeting, indistinct figure that moved too quickly to be a person. It wasn't a trick of the light, it was something else. "Great," Mia muttered, "so we're not alone after all." Suddenly, the lights flickered, casting shadows that seemed to stretch unnaturally across the room. The group exchanged nervous glances as the temperature dropped even further, and the walls creaked as if they were groaning in pain. The strange sounds grew louder, now unmistakably words. "Leave. You should have left." Mia's heart raced, and she spun around, searching for the source of the voice. But there was no one there. The hallway stretched ahead in a long, suffocating silence. "All right, this is enough," Claire said, her voice shaky. "I'm out of here." Before anyone could respond, a loud bang echoed from the end of the hallway, followed by the unmistakable sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate, echoing with a sinister intent. They turned toward the noise, fear creeping into their bones. Something or someone was coming for them. "We need to leave now," Ethan shouted, grabbing his equipment and turning to head back toward the entrance. But as they ran, the building seemed to shift, the hallways stretching and twisting in ways that didn't make sense. The doors slammed shut in front of them. They were trapped. Panic set in as the air grew thick with an almost suffocating pressure. The whispers turned into frantic voices, screaming for help, begging for release. In the distance, figures began to emerge from the shadows, pale, gaunt faces with hollow eyes that stared directly into their souls. These were no ordinary ghosts. They were the tortured spirits of the asylum's former patients, souls twisted by years of suffering and neglect. "They're feeding on our fear," Lucas said, his voice trembling for the first time. "We need to stay calm." But it was too late. The fear had already taken root. As they fought to find an escape, one by one, the spirits reached out, their cold fingers grazing their skin, pulling them toward the darkness. Ethan was the first to disappear, dragged into a room that slammed shut behind him with a deafening crash. Claire screamed, her body trembling with terror, but Lucas, always the leader, urged them to push forward. They stumbled upon the asylum's most terrifying secret in the abandoned morgue, a room that was supposed to be sealed but had been left open. Inside, the floor was covered with old, rotting medical equipment and rows of bodies on gurneys, their eyes wide open as though they were waiting for something. But it was what was etched on the wall that made their blood run cold. "The cure is worse than the disease." Suddenly, a horrifying realization struck them. The spirits were not the only thing they had to fear. The asylum itself was alive, feeding off their emotions, trapping them in a never-ending loop. And the worst part was, they were never meant to leave. Mia, frantic and terrified, turned to Lucas for guidance. But Lucas, the fearless leader who had once been so sure, was now barely holding it together. His camera shook in his hands as he filmed the approaching spirits, eyes wide with horror. The twist came when they realized the one who had been guiding them all along, the one who had seemed so confident, was not really Lucas at all. The real Lucas had been one of the first to fall victim to the asylum's dark magic. The person leading them, a spirit taking on the form of their former fearless leader to lure them deeper into the asylum's grip. As the group faced the full force of the asylum's wrath, trust shattered and survival instincts kicked in. But the question was, would they make it out alive? Or was the asylum's horrifying grip too strong to break? The last thing they saw before the darkness consumed them was the asylum's crumbling walls closing in, and the horrifying truth that this place would never let them go. The forgotten asylum had claimed its newest victims,